started amazing. The weather was perfect and it was my best run so far. And I felt good, and I made the turn on Hereford to come down Boylston, and I still had my hands up and I felt good.
And then, the unthinkable.
First, I didn't know what it was. I think when the second explosion went off, spectators started running towards us, and that's when we knew that something was wrong.
Amid the chaos, his first thought, his family, where were they?
My wife has met me at the finish line for every marathon that I've run. So she was there with my daughter and my parents and my sister, and so I just started running towards where the explosions went off. I found them in front of the Old South Church after I had helped a couple of people and realized that there was plenty of emergency personnel. I kept running and just looking at the side until I found them, and luckily they didn't leave like they were told to, and they just stayed because they knew that I'd be looking for them there.
His body spent by the marathon effort, his mind raced, fueled by the panic in that moment.
I think it's the amazing power of adrenaline. I don't know how, but I think that the fear of what could happen to your family and the desire to help gives you a lot of strength.
His own family safe, Shah quickly shifted into doctor mode. He's an orthopedic surgeon at nearby New England Baptist Hospital, and in the scrum of the makeshift emergency effort, he found himself shoulder to shoulder with an army of medical professionals.
You don't even think. I think that we have so many hours of training and having done things like this before that you just run towards wherever the issue is and you assess it, and then you start treating the injuries. By the time that I got to the finish line, it was amazing. There were first responders, police officers, the emergency personnel that usually volunteer at the finish line, and everyone was there, and almost every single victim already had somebody helping them.
The compassion and care after the explosion were more than a community's grand gesture, but a phenomenon that's come to be known as Boston Strong.
There were a lot of spectators who were helping. There were a lot of runners besides myself who were helping, holding people's hands or just talking to them, trying to do whatever they could.
Maybe it would only happen in a city of ivory towers, but Harvard researchers dug deep into what made Boston so strong. Yes, some of it was luck. The bombs went off just yards away from the marathon's medical tents.
The medical tents are usually just past the finish line for a lot of the runners who are exhausted or fatigued after the race.
But there was more to Boston Strong than just luck. This city is better equipped for a disaster than just about any other. The most badly hurt were quickly dispatched to Boston's 8 Level 1 trauma centers.
I did my training at Tufts Medical Center, which if you continue down Boylston Street about 5 blocks, it's right there, and it's a level 1 trauma center. If it had to happen, I think that in some ways we're lucky that there were so many capable emergency personnel around. It was amazing. Talking to people that I know at various hospitals in the city of Boston, they prepare for disasters like this, and not only did they handle them, but they reviewed their responses weeks later to make sure that if there was anything that could be done better, they did it or worked on improving it. But I think that the entire response from the time that the explosions happened to the aftermath, weeks to months later, I think people took it very seriously and are still preparing for what could happen in the future.
And there is a legacy to Boston Strong.
What I learned about our society is we can do amazing things, and we just have to not do it at the time of tragedy and hopefully do it on a more daily basis. And maybe it takes events like this to make us realize that we can make a difference on a daily basis. This event is something that brings the city of Boston together already. I think that the tragedy has brought the city even tighter, if possible, made Boston even a smaller city than it was before in terms of how close people are.
Bent, but unbroken, Boston has turned its corner, like Vivek Shah, ready to run again.
I don't think there was much choice because, like I said, it was supposed to be my last, but I certainly don't want that to be my lasting memory of the Boston Marathons.